Okay, today I wanted to talk about the discus, the shoulder separation a little bit. Here we have an example overhead view of Valerie Allman. I got a dot here on each shoulder, and here's the discus. So you can kind of see the shoulders, right shoulder's leading the discus a little bit. Got the angle here. This is at the just prior to release. I had some throwers that were asking me to review their videos, and the discus in this position was all the way back here, about 12 o'clock. So just wanted to go over this a little bit, where you don't want to leave the discus hanging behind you. You want to bring it up with the shoulders at this point. Okay, so let's take a look at Valerie Allman's full throw here. Watch how the discus stays behind, catches up. Stays behind right here and then catches up again. All right. I've got some angle lines here so we can kind of see where it's going. So if the discus was in line with the shoulders, it would be 180 degrees. So it's about 31.5 degrees back behind her shoulders at this point. So right here, it's pretty much in line. Right here, and then it starts to get the shoulders start to get ahead a little bit, so the discus separation starts to form right about here. All right, as she moves forward, it doesn't change too much. It's about 35 degrees, so it's still about the same as she starts to enter the circle. Okay. Right here, you'll see it's starting to catch up. So now it's almost about near the 180 degree mark as she starts to extend off that left leg. You can see the discus is almost in line with the shoulders. About 177 degrees, so pretty close to the 180 degree mark, being in a straight line. So at this point, she doesn't have the discus behind her shoulder anymore. So she's lost that separation she had earlier. Again here, discus is at 6 o'clock, left shoulder's about 12. So pretty much she's brought that discus with her without having the shoulders go ahead or letting the discus get behind. Okay, and then the next point, I take a measurement. It's right about here, where the discus is right at 3 o'clock. At this point, you'll notice the discus doesn't move very far over the next couple of frames, as the shoulders and hips move quite a bit. So let's go through that. So she still has about approximately 180 degrees. Okay. And the first frame you'll see here, the discus is falling behind. It hasn't moved very much, so the shoulders and being pulled around by the hips. See how the hips and shoulders are moving forward and leaving the discus behind? So she's getting that separation here again that she had at the very beginning. Now this point here, she has the greatest amount of separation between the right shoulder and the discus, or the line of the shoulders and the discus. 124 degrees, so she's about 55 degrees. So that discus, you can see, hasn't moved very much over the last few frames. Watch the discus from right here at 3 o'clock. It only moves to about this line right here. Right there. Okay, so what is happening here is the left foot's coming down. Okay, left toes landed right about here. So now she's going to start accelerating. And that's she's accelerating the lower body. That's pulling the shoulders around too. But the discus stays back. Okay. And then the next frame, she maintains a little bit more. About 55, 56, 180. About almost, 56.5 degrees. Okay, so from here in the previous frame, it's almost the same. She's leaving that discus back. Now, in this position, yeah, the discus is almost right behind her shoulders. If it would be over this way more, but it's pretty far back. This is the farthest point where she has that discus back, right here, just before she gets the shoulders to the front. Okay, so let's watch. Okay, now you can see the shoulders are getting to the front. She's closing that distance now. Now it's only 20 degrees. So from here to here, she's really accelerating that discus, catching it up to the shoulders. Okay. And here's the point where the shoulders are just about square to the front. The discus is right there. It's near the 180 degree mark again. So she's got about, it's only 14 degrees. The discus is behind the shoulder line. Okay, from here to here, it's increased about 6 degrees further. And then at the release, she's at not quite 180, but really, really close, 175. Okay. Of course, these measurements are just approximate, and she's leaning back a little bit right here. So I'm trying to get the back of the shoulders, or the top of the shoulders in this video, this photo right here. Okay, so I guess the main thing I'm trying to say for the throwers that I was reviewing, at this position, you don't want this arm way back behind you at 12 o'clock. You want that arm to come around. Once that left foot hits the ground, you want to start bringing that discus up and accelerating it to catch up to the shoulders. Okay, right here, when the discus is at 3 o'clock and the left foot has touched the ground, this is where Valerie Ullman has the greatest amount of separation between her shoulders and that discus. And it really slows down up to that point. Okay. And then she starts bringing it forward, accelerating it until it catches up to the shoulders. And it never really gets ahead of the shoulders. The next slide probably shows after the release. Okay, that's the video right here at the release. And then probably the next frame, the arm will probably start getting ahead. But that shows you she's not throwing with just her arm. She's throwing with her shoulders. Her whole body's turning here. Okay, so that discus is not getting ahead. It's still behind a little bit the shoulders. Okay, just thought I'd share that with you. Thanks very much.